inscription you see on the statue erected at the entrance of the Accra Sports Stadium in memory of the 126 people who perished 23 years ago. The Sam Okudzeto Commission of Inquiry set out to lay the groundwork for that. And they did, with a number of what was initially thought to be seminal recommendations.
So the commission recommended, among other things, the prosecution of 6 police officers. But after trial, all the charges brought against them, including the charge of involuntary manslaughter, were dismissed after the prosecutor failed to establish beyond reasonable doubt that the conduct of these police officers was responsible for the death of the 127 people. There was also the establishment of the Stadium Disaster Fund, which the Commission recommended government putting 2 billion cedis at the time, which is now, in today's terms, 200,000 Ghana cedis in the first year of that particular fund. And that fund was to go into, among other things, taking care of the children of all of the victims of that particular May 9 disaster. And for those that didn't have children, there were 54 of them specifically, the Commission recommended the payment of a one-time ex gratia of 10 million, which in today's terms would be 1,000 Ghana cedis. And that money was to go to their parents or a legal representative.
One of the unintended legacies of the Commission's work is the fixture itself. I'm not sure who set out to enforce it, but over time, the idea of hosting a Hearts-of-Oak and Asante Kotoko match at night has become somewhat of a taboo. In 23 years, the only time the two teams have met in a late kickoff match was in 2022 when Hearts-of-Oak beat Asante Kotoko by 2-1 at the Accra Sports Stadium on 4th March. There was a President's Cup match on a Friday night.
Go-header down, opportunity, and that's it! Efia Banya gets the goal there for Accra Hearts-of-Oak! It has been happening, and finally it does!
I mean, between 2001 and 2024, a lot has changed with football all over the world. If you want your brand to compete, you have to look at the uniqueness of your brand. If your brand is in a position where in 2024 you are competing with so many eyeballs, and let's say if a game between Kotoko and Hearts can be played at, let's say after 6 p.m. to get returns of that, why would you still want to be playing it, if you like, in the hot sun at 3 p.m., for example, on a Sunday afternoon with all the competing interests that come with a game these days?
That was Kwame Jomo-Ajimai, Communications Director at Premier League club Legon Cities. His views are shared by Dr. Godfred Akoto-Boafo, a football administrator who once consulted for Liberty Professionals while they were still in the league.
For the period that we were in, the committee's recommendations were not perfect, but some of them were legitimate, particularly with restoring fund safety at Kotoko and Hearts games. The impact has not been felt as much because we have not implemented that aspect in full, even immediately after that. The one that we held true to was the fair rule about not playing a Kotoko Hearts game at night, which, of course, in the era that we find ourselves, makes very little sense. Apart from that, we could have done better with the sporting side of it.
23 years on, the recommendations and the disaster itself are still fresh in our memory. But just how much has changed? Experienced journalist Jerome Ochre has his take.
I don't think a lot has changed. If anything at all has changed, it's mostly about what we do after the incidents have occurred, and not necessarily what we are doing to prevent or preempt those incidents from occurring. Most of the time, it's about hoping and praying. And we hope and pray that nothing happens. But if something happens, for me, reactions have always been what I would say is lip service.
There was one that impacted even generally how our stadiums would have been built going forward in terms of the number of exits that were supposed to be present at the stadium. Because I remember was that there was a game, I went to a game at then Robert Mensah Sports Stadium. It was a massive game. And if you come from that part of the country, that stadium has only one gate.
Yeah.
At the time, and everybody was squeezing through that tiny gate. And this was 4 or 5 years after the recommendations on the kind of things that were supposed to be present at Category A games, basically, so to say, for fan safety, and also the training of policemen, the interaction between security services and fans. I think that those things have not really gone well.
Let's talk about the specifics then. Safety and security protocols, stadium architecture, the very things we swore to fix. How have we gone about fixing them?
Over the years, what we failed to do was we're just lifting solutions from elsewhere and seeing if we can also implement that. But in security, you have to always profile it. If you take 100% of hooligan acts or incidents or disturbances that we have had for the past 5 years, about 80 to 90% will be attack on match officials.
That was Julius Emuna, Safety and Security Officer at the Ghana Football Association, and once upon a time, the club licensing manager. So what has to give?
One very important thing that we have still not been able to achieve or still not been able to do as stakeholders, district stakeholders, not just the GFE. Thankfully, the current Safety and Security Committee led by the chairman is trying to get that in place. It's arrests. And let's not forget that. It's arrests. People who are in football, spectators who are in football, have this notion that misconduct, hooligan acts, criminal acts at match venues and not be settled at the law court. That has to be drummed down to the people through actions. There should be examples set. The police should be able to make arrests of people who attack physically officials, opposition players, and even spectators at match venues. When these arrests are done and people get to know that doing said acts can lead you before court.
I keep saying that if I walk on the streets of Accra and I hold a club in my hand or any object and go around striking people I disagree with, the police won't let me go beyond a kilometer. I will be arrested. But I can put up this same behavior at the stadium per what I have seen, and there's a high chance that I will still sleep comfortably at home the next night. And I think that is what is lacking in terms of dealing with the security situation at our venues. If we will have the police getting hold of the hooligans and using one or two of them to set an example by taking them to the law courts, prosecuting them, and making sure they get a conviction against them, and the whole public knowing that violence at the football venues is not anything to be countenanced, I think the degree to which we see these incidents would be reduced to the barest minimum.
Until then, we can only hope that the Ghana Football Association, its members, the sports ministry, the security agencies, football fans, and all stakeholders continue to do their bit in order to force the cultural reset we wish to see. For Joy Sports, Victor Achutamaki.
Joy 99.7 FM.
Victor Achutamaki of Joy Sports, commemorating the May 9 disaster that happened back in 2001. That's how we begin the Joy Sports Link here on Joy 99.7 FM. Of course, a lot for us to ponder about regarding the way we've organized our game, regarding the safety and security at our venues, and regarding how much of the effect of that unfortunate circumstance we have applied in ensuring that we design our game such that it never ever happens again. Well, many years down the line, at least the good thing is that the children of the persons who passed on have been taken care of by the state in terms of their education up to the tertiary level. And the trust that was put together is supposed to be wrapping up its work by now. So that was a piece put together by Victor Achutamaki. My name is Nathaniel Attoh. Glad to welcome you here to the Joy Sports Link on Joy 99.7 FM. Today, we're talking about a subject that sure will interest all of you, as we always do. The National Under-17 men's team, the Black Starlets, are in focus today. I'm sure that you want to relive the moments of 2000. Well, I'm talking about the moments of 1991 and the moments of 1995. Well, those were golden moments and great moments in our football. Of course, we could also remember the year 1993 when Ghana lost to Nigeria in the final of the Under-17 World Cup, the FIFA Under-17 World Cup. Many years down the line, the same nation that early in the 90s was showing so much promise and dominated the world ahead of great nations like Brazil, now is struggling to find its feet when it comes to the world level. They always say that the building block, which is the national Under-17 team, has a very big telling effect on the look and feel of the senior national team years later. So what has been the story of Ghana? And I'm sure all of you have seen what has happened over the last 2 decades in our football and at that level of our age-specific competitions. What is the plan with the new technical direction led by a man who spearheaded the efforts to qualify Ghana's senior national team to the FIFA World Cup? Well, unfortunately, he did not play there, but he decided to get into coaching after hanging his boots and has told a great, remarkable story so far. He traces his roots to Right to Dream Academy, where he handled the under-18 team and worked with many talents, some of whom we see playing great football in different parts of the world. Today, he's been given the opportunity to handle the the under-17 national football team, the Black Starlets. And the hope is that we, as a nation, can get back to that competition at the world level and also showcase our talent and, most importantly, win the silverware we were known for in 1991 and 1995. Head coach of the national under-17 team, the Black Starlets, Elia Kingston, is my guest this afternoon here on the Joy Sports Link on Joy 99.7 FM. I know you'd like so much to contribute to the show, and that's the reason why you'd have to keep these, just at the snap of your finger. Remember, it's 055 1111997 or for your WhatsApp messages. Once again, it's 055 1111997 for your WhatsApp messages. We'll be glad to have them and share with everyone else. So let us know what your thoughts are about the national under-17 football team, the Black Starlets, their current standing when it comes to global relevance and what you'd want to see done. The head coach is here. The man himself is here. He's been tasked with that responsibility. And he will tell us what it's looking like in terms of the talent pool. Recently, he took part in an invitational tournament in Russia and, staged some very remarkable results. Lost the first game and went ahead to win the remaining 2 games in some very dramatic fashion. And all of these are things we'll be discussing here on the Joy Sports Link on Joy 99.7 FM. This is the Joy Sports Link, and do remember that we're also building up to one very big event. It's the biggest outdoor event for viewing of the UEFA Champions League final, and that is the Hits FM Rep Your Jersey 2024. So Ghana, are you ready for the biggest football night? It's the Hits FM Rep Your Jersey 2024, and the clock is ticking towards the UEFA Champions League final. The heat is going to be intense as the Spaniards and the most achieved side clash with the Germans from Borussia Dortmund for this very big trophy. What team are you rooting for? And are you just being against for shaggy reasons as well? So wear your favorite UEFA club jersey and join us at the Aviation Social Center on Saturday, June 1 for this 13th edition of the Hits FM Rep Your Jersey. And it's from 10 a.m. till you drop. You know how we always do it. So just come and compete in the interclubs fun and entertainment activities such as the sports quiz, the five-a-side soccer, the e-game contest, and many more with amazing prizes to be won. And there will be the climax of the world's greatest football history. The game that will surely be one of the greatest in world football history, and that will be between Real Madrid and Borussia Dortmund. So just follow the social media platforms with the hashtag HitsFMRepYourJersey24. HitsFM Rep Your Jersey, and your is UR. So Hits FM Rep Your Jersey 24. Hits FM Your Rep Your Jersey is supported by Joy Sports and Joy Prime TV and sponsored by SoccerBet, your best bet for sports betting. Shaltox lozenges, think natural, think Shaltox. Heineken, share the passion. National Petroleum Authority, Jamar Detergent, your partner for clean clothes. Syntex Tank, air strong, air tough. Peugeot from Silver Star Auto. Franco Trading Enterprise. Still phone Papa Fie. Citizens Footballs for Citizens Sports Mall, ice drop drinking water, and stay healthy, stay hydrated. Well, so let's see how all of it goes with the Hits FM Rep Your Jersey event at the Aviation Social Center. Remember, your messages are very welcome here on the Joy Sports Link as we host the head coach of the under 17 national football team. Now, in the last 3 games that the Black Starlets played, they lost 3-1 to Russia, the host of the competition, and then bounced back to beat Serbia by 5-1, and then eventually beat Niger by 2-0. So remember that Ghana also finished runners-up in the 2017 edition of the tournament. So the Black Starlets are starting off their campaign of getting to the Under-17 Africa Cup of Nations, and they'll commence their campaign against Cote d'Ivoire on Wednesday, May 15, with aspirations of securing a victory towards qualifying for the AFCON. Their subsequent game will be against Benin 6 days after that. So, Laye Kingston is my guest here in the studio. Coach, thank you so much for making the time with us.
Thanks for having me.
And, congratulations on putting up a good show in Russia.
Thank you.
Russia is obviously, regular ground for you, or familiar ground, because you played some of your club football there.
Yes. I played 4.5 years in Russia between 3 clubs. My first club was Krylia Sovetov, which I had a very good season. And then during that time, most of the big clubs in Russia were chasing me. I find myself in Terek Grozny.
Grozny, yeah.
Before Lokomotiv Moscow came in, so for me, I think going back there after 14 years was was amazing feeling for me. I remember when we were about to touch down in Domodedova Airport, I had goosebumps because I have a lot of memories there. And when I got there, I think the transformation of the airport has been amazing. And it's summer, but hey, it was a little bit cold. When it's getting later in the evening, it was very, very cold. But the boys that the plane body, they took it very well. It was very difficult first 2-3 days, but afterwards they got used to.
I see. Russia, after you left, went ahead to host the FIFA World Cup and all of that. So, obviously, the airport will surely look good. I know. I haven't been to Russia yet. But Laye, let's talk about this last tournament that you played before we get down to issues of talent, discovery, and all of that. Now, you lost 2-1 to the host. How did you find that game, and how did you strategize for that particular game? What do you make of the Russian team and what they also had to offer?
Yes, so for us, that tournament was a very good tournament for us in terms of our preparation. We got to Russia knowing that we're going to face a very tough opponent. We know Russians are very good when it comes to football. You cannot write them off. But for me, I think the boys took it very well. It was very difficult for them. Most of the boys that we took 20 players, 18 outfield players with 2 goalkeepers. Out of the 20 players, only 3 players have experienced flying in an airplane before.
Tell me about it.
So 17 of them are first-time flyers, So for us, it's a huge challenge for us, but we managed to psych them well, and the integration to the tournament went on well as well. Our first game was a bit tough. We as a technical team, we managed to watch 1 or 2 games from Russia, the previous games that they played, so we had a fair idea about the opponent we're going to meet. They have a coach that have been with the group since the group was 13 years, and the coach have grown with the team very well. So going into the game, we knew they're going to sit back and wait for us and take us in the counter attack. But our game plan is to have a solid counter attacking balance, so that when they break, we can counter press and then win the ball high. We started very slow. We lost focus, especially from our left fullback area, and then they capitalized on that. So within 15 minutes in the game, we've conceded 3 goals already. But afterwards, we came into the game. At the end of the game, I think we, if I'm not mistaken, we had 28 to 72% possession, ball possession. When you check the stats, we dominated play. But at the end of the day, we lost the game 3-1. And for us, I think it's a eye opener for us, and it's a learning curve for the whole team, because since we took over the national under-17 men's team, we've never lost a game. Before we lost that game, we've gone 13 games, drew 3, and won the rest.
The rest of them.
The rest of them. So Russia is our first win, a first loss that we faced. So for us, it was a challenge for the boys, and when they lost the game, you can see their faces that they were disappointed, and we bounced back again against Serbia. You know, going into the Serbian game, again myself, I know that the Serbian team knew what I'm bringing on board, because a year before we played in a similar tournament in Serbia, and then we went with 4-3-3 system. Against Russia, we went with the same system, 4-3-3 system, and it looks similar, just that we added the aggro style into our current style. But most of the style is transition, defending our box well and attacking the opponent box well. So against Russia too, we saw the technical team from the Serbian team watching the Russian game. So going against them, we knew they would be expecting us to go 4-3-3 again against them, or the same style. But as a technical team, we sat down together and then we decided to change the system. We went 3-4-3 against them, and I think that's the turning point against them. They were confused. They were expecting 4-3-3, but we changed the style to the formation to 3-4-3. I think that's what helped us to surprise them. Afterwards, we finished the game 5-1, and then our next game was against Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan, their first game, they played against Serbia, and they lost to Serbia 4-0. And then when we played Serbia, Kazakhstan played against Russia and lost to Russia 2-1, which for us was a very tough game for the Russians. We went into the game against Kazakhstan making sure that if we win against Kazakhstan and Russia loses against Serbia, we would have been crowned champions. But for us, we went into the tournament to see how well the team is going to perform. At the same time, winning is icing on the cake. It's a bonus for us. So Kazakhstan, Serbia lost to Russia again, and then we make sure that we have to win the game against Kazakhstan, which we won 5-1. In total, for us, we were very happy with the performance. With the feedback we got after the tournament was very positive all over the world. We came down, then we have an important tournament to play, which is WAFO Zone B tournament, which is happening next week, Wednesday on the 15th. It's all preparation from Russia. The FA noticed that, okay, we need a very important game, a game that can challenge us more. So they gave us an opponent that is in the tournament, which is in the other group B, which is Niger. For us, it's a very good thing for us. It's also good because we know that that will test us and see the kind of opponents we're going to meet. The Russian tournament is teams in Europe, like against Eastern Europeans, different style, different approach. So for us, playing against Niger, I think gave us a lot of heads up on what we should expect in the main tournament. So I think now, looking at the team, we are ready for the tournament.
Very well. You've been given a very, very important task. Important in the sense that we all do know how things went in the 90s, in the early 90s, and it was always a point of excitement for young people, for old people, that the national under-17 team was winning at that level. And at the time when Ghana won her first title at that level, at the world level, Brazil had never won an under-17 title. Now, years down the line, it just looks like there's been a decline, and it just hasn't gone well. For you, what do you identify as one of the key reasons why that decline happened over the years?
Yes, for me, I think it all comes down to how well we doing our grassroots football. In those days, we all know there are a lot of youth competitions that all of us we were discovered from youth those competitions. But it got to a point that those competitions, the country did not focus on those competitions. Meanwhile, those competitions was competitions that brought out a lot of top young talents that they grew through the ranks to be important players for our senior national team. I will say myself, in 1997, 1995, I was discovered through Milo Games. Myself, Godwin Atram, Dan Kwe, and all those players. And you can see, after that youth tournament in Kumasi, after that we went to the youth under 15. Most of the players that were discovered in that tournament, they were the ones that made the 1997 World Cup. Rather, we were unfortunate to win it. We were in the final with Brazil, and we lost to Brazil 2-1. You know, so for me, I think grassroots football, we lost focus there. That's why we couldn't get a strong youth national teams. But thumbs up to KGL now. KGL have done very, very well in coming on board and making sure organizing such tournaments. I must say that most of my players in the current team, I have about 7-8 players in the current team that I discovered them from the KGL tournament. Similar tournaments like my time, New Datelante's time, Stephen Appiah's time, Emmanuel Bentil's time, Godwin Atram's time. That's similar tournament that we were discovered in. I took that opportunity when I first came back to Ghana after I left FC Northland. When I had a call from the FA that this is the opportunity they want to give me, I was lucky to come and meet such tournament, KGL tournament, Youth Under 17 tournament. And I had time to go and watch every game.
I see.
So, every game. So when you look at my current squad, the top scorer of the KGL tournament is in my squad. If you look at the best player of the KGL tournament, is in my squad. So for me, it's an opportunity for me as a technical person, and that made it easy for myself and the backroom staff for us to get the quality. So if I've answered your question well, I think we need such tournaments to happen so that we can identify top talent for the country.
Okay. There's a very interesting question that has already come. I do remember it's 055-1111-997, 055-1111-997. We'll also be picking your thoughts from our various social media handles, so we could ask the head coach of the Black Starlets, the national under-17 male football team. Okay, so we haven't organized ourselves well, but things are gradually changing. Let's talk about the talent pool. You've talked about getting, quite a number or a good base from these tournaments that are being organized. Let's look at the spread. I mean, from north to south. You look at the winning sides from 1991, 1995. We look at your side who finished runners-up, and you realize that there was a good spread of players who came from northern Ghana, some who came from Volta region, some who came from other parts, the south, What does it look like in terms of good representation and, spread, so that then we know that we have taken talents from across?
Yes, for me, that's a good question. For me, I believe every Ghanaian deserves a chance, a fair one. For me, before we started this journey, the FA and the Sports Directorate, they signed scouts, regional scouts, to go and scout players for the youth national team, which is the under-17s. So we were given a list of players from all over the 10 regions. Previously, all these players have to come to Pram. They go in badges. They go first badge, second badge, third, fourth, going on. It depends on the number that you have. We were given those lists, And I must say we had about 400 and something players, over 400 and something players. For the kids to travel all the way, people from the Volta region, northern region, Ashanti region, all over the Ghana, to travel and come to Accra, we sat down and then we look at it. We said, "Oh, this has been very tough for them. So why don't we, the technical team, go to them instead of them, the kids traveling down to Accra?" We sat down with the FA, and the FA agreed that we should take that journey, which we did. We started from the north. We started from Wa. We had the activation there, and then the number of players that we believe can help us, we picked them from there. Then we went to Bolga. We had the activation there. We picked players from there. We went to northern region, which is Temale. We had the same activation. We picked players from there. We went to Sunyani, picked players from there. We came down to Kumasi, picked players from there. We went to Takrady, Central region, Cape Coast, Volta region, Eastern region, and then we finished in Greater Accra. At the end of all these exercises, we had about 53 players in our hands. Then we decided to bring these 53 players to come to Pram Pram for the second phase of screening. So out of that, we made sure that we cut it down to 26 players, which we had about 4.
How difficult was it cutting down to 26?
It was difficult. It was quite difficult, but we have criteria that we look at. We have a DNA from the Sporting Directorate from the FA, a DNA that one word that stands out is agro. So the first thing that we look in the player is how comfortable he is on the ball. How comfortable can he be play in the tight area? Technical qualities that he have. So for us, we focus more on that. It was tough. We had a lot of good quality players, but we have a criteria that we're looking at. So throughout all these 53 players, we saw these qualities in them before we bring them in. After that, then when we brought them together. It have to be like competition. Who is the best one that we feel can help the country? We put the country first, and then after we had the 26, then that's when the proper education started, which is around November. We started proper education around November. When I say proper education, it's about our philosophy, how we want the players to play. So we took them through all the 8 phases that we have. We have 4 defensive phases and we have 4 attacking phases. We will take them every session. We will take them to class and then take them through what we are going to do on the pitch before we go out. And we take them through the principles governing all the defensive phases and all the attacking phases. So we did all that and played some friendly games before we break them for Christmas break. We had like a month break throughout December, and February we came back. So since February, we've managed to build the team to this stage. Saying this, we've played friendly games with other opponents, and I must say, out of the teams that we've played, we managed to invite 3-4 players from the teams that we've played. So we open up to everybody that every Ghanaian player is eligible to play, so far as you have the quality that you can represent the country. So at the moment, we have 20 players in camp that are going to represent the country on the 15th, but we still have about 10 extra players at the back. 10 extra players at the back that we believe that after, God willing, after everything goes on well and we qualify to represent Ghana in the African Youth Championship, some of them will have that opportunity. And the opportunity is still open until the last minute of the final squad that will represent Ghana in the World Cup, or even the African Youth Championship. Every Ghanaian is eligible to come and play. So for us, you have the quality and you are better than the ones that we have now. But the first thing that we did is we made sure that we have a team that anytime the country call upon us, we have a team that can represent the country. But it's not the end. Every player that is good, we see that is good and they have the qualities to help, we still bring him in to strengthen the team more.
You talk about agro football. What is agro football? Before he answers that question, do remember that we're here on the Joy Sports Link on Joy 99.7 FM. My name is Nathaniel Attoh, and I'm here with the head coach of the Black Starlets, the national male under-17 football team. Well, agro football. Now, they always talk about our football, its identity, our philosophy, how we can easily say that this is a Ghanaian team or this is a prototype of a Ghanaian team. So today, he's used the term agro on about 2 occasions. What is agro football?
Like everyone knows, if we say agro is
agro is
ufa bibi di agro.
So agro is tree for playing. Ashwe playing.
Yeah, Gamie ashwe.
So it's playing.
It's play. And we all know that football is entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
I always say footballers are also show business people.
Yeah, sure. That is very true.
Because they play to entertain people. And the agro, it's something that you have to make sure you enjoy whilst you are doing. It's like, let's say, abatain.
Okay.
Abatain, which in English we call it, football terms is rondos.
Okay.
So we make sure we design all our sections in mostly possession games in the tight area. Let's say 5 by 10 area size. We have, let's say, 4 players on the outside and then 2 players inside. It's a tight area. But at the same time, you need to play close to your opponent and make sure your opponent did not touch the ball. So this is where we focus on. If you come to our sessions, even our warm-up, you won't see us running left, right, center. We make sure we warm up with abatain, that we call it, with the rondos. And someone will sit back and say, oh, omudi agro. But for me, this is, as a technical person, this is how I see football. You can see the whole pitch. Wherever the ball is, you see 2v2s, 2v3s, 4v2s in every area of the pitch. Let's say in the center circle, you have the ball there. You definitely see the opponent 2-3 midfielders against the other 3 midfielders. So you're making 3v3. If you had one player in, maybe one center back goes around that place and have that overload in the center space. So for me, I see football as such. Even though the pitch is big, everywhere the ball is, you can see 2v2, 3v3, or 4v2.
So
3v2.
in the layman's terms, 4 versus 4, 3 versus 3.
3 versus 3.
I see.
So how superior I can be in that tight area
is what constitutes agro.
That constitutes agro. So if I'm able to, even 2 of my players were able to play out of 3 or 4 opponents, then I've achieved the agro play.
I see. Well, back in the time, may God bless it. So, Coach Coach Sam Hemans Ade, he led Ghana's under-17 team in 1995 to win the second trophy, the World Cup trophy, and he termed his style the multi-system. Okay, so how different is the multi-system from agro? Because what I remember him telling me or telling everybody when it comes to explaining that concept was moving into open spaces and creating chances. Basically, that's it.
Yeah, every coach is different.
Okay.
And I will not say I am bringing the agro. The agro came from the FA, the directorate. The DNA that they published, that word stands out well. So for me, I've read and studied the playbook, but that word stood up for me well because I believe that one will fit the Ghanaian style well, because we all know Ghana, we play small-sided games, gutter to gutter, and it's more of
that also brings to the fore a very important aspect of this conversation. Now, when you go to the community level, you do realize that this format of play, which is small posts, we call it small posts.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, which is, as it suggests, like miniature posts. It hinders the ability of young players to become attack-oriented. So it is said that because of that style that is played at the community level, we tend to churn out a lot more midfielders in our play, a lot more midfielders and defenders, instead of having players who are attackers who can learn to shoot and all of that. Because everybody is ensuring that they organize themselves and play and pass around so they could shoot the ball into this small space. So there's a lot more passing around and being careful not to lose the ball. Isn't that the case?
Yes, it's true. It's true. I think that's because of the community football all the time, like the small poles and all that. We have a lot of technical players, and all these years there has been a say that we don't have attackers, we don't have good finishers. That's why in my team, if you watch the stats, since February to date, we've played 14 games, we've scored 46 goals. Even though we have that mindset of dominating play with passes, with their gross style, we make sure we take the ball to the danger zone, which is the opponent box, and make sure we have the aggro there and make the chance bigger before we finish in the goal. So when you look at it, we've scored a lot of goals. We scored 46 goals. We've conceded 13 goals out of 14 games. So even though we having loads of possession, but we still managed to get the ball into the danger zone, and we've scored more goals. We know most coaches, most players would like to stay maybe 40, 30 yards and try shot from afar. But there is something in modern coaching that says expected goals. So if I take the ball to the box or the 6-yard box and try to have a finish at the goal, try to finish with instep instead of blasting the ball, and you standing 40, 30 yards and shooting, who have a chance of scoring more than the other? So this is what I studied, and I realized that why can't I encourage my boys to take the ball to the danger zone before they have idea about shooting? Yes, you can try from afar. You can shoot maybe 10 balls from afar. Maybe one will get in. But if I take the ball to the danger zone and I have 10 shots, I'll have high ratio of scoring than you shooting from afar. So these are some of the things that myself, I studied, and I had it to the current squad. I don't allow them to shoot from 30, 40 yards. We have a danger zone that we have to work the ball and get there before we try to finish. And I think it's working perfectly. Since the boys got used to it, it's working perfectly for us. That shows that's the more reason why we've had 14 games and we scored 46 goals and conceded 13.
Wow, interesting stuff there. I'll be asking a question that came a little earlier. That one has to do with you and the way forward, especially for your career. Before you took up this appointment, there was a lot of talk about you possibly coming back to the Ghana Premier League as a coach. But these are all conversations we're going to have now. The focus is on the team. Now, let's also talk about the availability of infrastructure and how it is helping or not helping the cause of developing these young players. In traveling across the country, where did you see these young boys play their football? Which places do they play their football in? Which pitches are they playing on? And what are the states? What's the conditions of these pitches that they're playing on, these surfaces that they're playing on?
Yes, if I cast my mind back, maybe 10 years ago, I think it will be very tough for me as a coach to go there and identify a player, go to the regions and identify a player. The reason why I'm saying that is what I'm looking in a player I want a player to be more technical, a player that have vision, and if the player is not playing on the good pitch, for me, I think I will not see that quality in them. But everywhere that we went, all over the regions, we managed to find an AstroTurf. And for me, an AstroTurf that is very leveled, at least AstroTurf that is not good at all, it will be better than the dusty pitch that we used to play on. So for me, all over the regions that we went, there is, I think, the only place that we have grass pitch is Bolga. No, it's Wa and Central region.
I see.
The rest of the regions that we went, all was they were AstroTurfs, and for us, one amazing pitch that we met, and I give thumbs up to the FA, is that AstroTurf. I only saw that when I was working in Denmark.
I see.
Was top.
I see.
The one that is in Bolga.
I see.
Was top. I asked and they said they came down from Europe and then they fixed it. It's a project for the FA.
I see.
And for me, I think it's amazing. If we get such quality of AstroTurfs around, I think it will be top.
I see. All right, great stuff. And would say greetings to Mr. Robert Coleman. He's leading the course of of building quality AstroTurfs, FIFA
Wembley, yeah?
AstroTurfs here in the country.
And most AstroTurf that we played on, it's all built by Wembley
Mr.
Sports.
Robert Coleman. I see. I see. That's great. Is very refreshing to hear. So at least the from what you tell me, the situation with infrastructure has improved.
Yes.
Okay, and that obviously will have a bearing on the kind of players you see, the kind of assessment you do of them as well.
Yes, exactly. For me, I think if we went there and then we did not see good pitches, I don't think we see the quality that we are expecting. So for us, it was a very good moment for us to see these boys having a very good pitch playing on. I always cast my mind back when my playing days. You go at center. At center, coats.
And you couldn't fall as a player. You couldn't fall on those pitches.
Yes, if you fall down, your skin will be on the ground.
Wow.
Your skin will be on the ground.
I remember coming to watch you guys train. Accra at Vokes, Cecil Jones, I took a few. We've come very far.
I had all my playing days at center. In my coach time, Cowling Babies, that's where we train before Suffolk comes to train there. I signed for Olympics. And what do you call it? Labadi. Labadi behind the trade fair. That's where we were training.
I see.
And then I moved to Art Suffolk, came back to my childhood pitch.
Wow.
Art Center.
Art Center.
You playing and then the rocks will be tackling you.
Wow.
The ball comes, you want to take a touches the rock and the ball goes somewhere else.
But it's amazing that in all that difficulty and with all that inadequacy, we were able to produce players like yourselves. It's amazing.
Yes. It's the mindset. It's the mindset. For me, I look at it and I say to myself that it's the mindset that we put in now. You see, if I would say this, most in our time, most of us are hustlers. If you go, I know a lot of people are coming from very difficult and tough background, but if you go, I cast my mind back where I started from, and not only me, most of my colleagues that I grew up with, it was very, very tough for us, and some of my colleagues that didn't have that strong mindset, they stopped because it was difficult. You won't have even normal food to eat. So when you started growing up and you get some small job, maybe pushing truck to make small money, then you forget playing football. Some of us that made it, we were like, no, this is football that we want to do. We pursue that until the breakthrough came. So for me, I think it's the mindset. We had very bad pitches. And our coaches were different as well. Our coaches were like military men. I quite remember, may he so rest in peace, Taya Jimmy would take us to Kinshasa, the back close to the castle. There's a hill there. And every morning.
So this is Kinshasa in Accra.
Kinshasa
not
in Accra,
the
not
one in Congo.
not the one in Congo.
Yeah.
Yes. So there's a hill there. Every morning before we come to the pitch, like 2-3 hours, we'll go on the beach first, run there. That's just a warm up.
I see.
Like 1 hour running on the sun.
In the sun.
In the sun.
Only that is a warm up.
Yes, it's a warm up.
Wow.
It's a warm up. After that, then we go and climb the hill. He has something. Some early morning he will come and stand and say, "Hey, mene go about you." You see, and we'll go through all this. After that, then we come. That's when we will come on the pitch to come and play football. And football we play hours. So in one session, you go like 4 hours training. You go like 4 hours.
Wow.
You do frog jumps, pole to pole, and then they just put the ball there for you. Play. So sometimes
that's some serious conditioning.
Yes. So sometimes I use that on my players. I sometimes come to training and I tell them, okay, that's warm up. I tell them, everyone go, do whatever you have to do. You know where you want to improve in your qualities. So I give them like 30 to 45 minutes. No coach goes to coach. We leave them. We just
do your own thing.
Do your own thing. And trust me, these current players, you can see some of them, everything that we've taught them, sometimes they can work in pairs, sometimes they single-handed, you see them working on their first touch and all that. And for me, I think it's amazing to see kids thinking this way. Even though it's different, but if you find yourself as a player, if you find yourself in the right environment and you get the right education, I think you can be a top player.
Well, interesting stuff there. You keep the messages coming. 055-1111-997. 055-1111-997. Greetings to all those who are following us from here and around the world. My big brother Glovus is listening. Good to hear from you. And also, there's a very interesting message that came earlier during the show. Let me just get back to it. Dr. Daniel Macaulay, the executive chairman of the Magdan Group, says, I am bringing him to Oli, so you should ask him about that. Okay, so Dr. Daniel Macaulay's Magdan Shipping is the shirt sponsor of Accra Great Olympics. He says he's bringing you to Great Olympics.
Chama, salute. The eagle. You are my chairman, so I have nothing to say, chairman.
I see. Okay, so it means that once you are done, we have to help you to go and win the African Championship, go and win the World Cup, and then maybe you can come and bring Oli to.
Yes, we're taking it a day at a time. You never know.
Well, this one is from Ni Ayite in Dakuman. Ni Ayite says, Charlie Bralai, you do all. I pray you succeed in this side of your career and get the team to bring on, Okay. Let me see if I can see this properly. All right, so let me go over it again. Charlie Bralai, you do all. We pray you succeed in this side of your career and get us, and get the team to bring you on all the faces of football supporters in Ghana again. To bring joy to the faces of all the football supporters in Ghana again. Well, the screen is a bit of a distance across, but well, I don't do spectacles yet.
Well, I can borrow you mine.
No, I don't do spectacles. So keep your messages coming. It's 055-1111-997. We're spending time with the head coach of the national under-17 team. Ghana, in its history, has 2 World Cups to show, and now we have other countries who have, all been able to get themselves into that space. And the focus now is to qualify for the African Championship, and then eventually the World Cup, and then possibly bid for the title itself. let's talk about what you see with your colleagues around the world. I mean, you've told me what you've seen of the Russian team. What else do you see in terms of organization, which you feel we can learn quite a bit from in terms of the practices? I remember very well having a conversation with the current Black Stars captain, Andre Dedeayu, when he was the captain of the under-20 side. And he told me about how their colleagues in other places where, their colleagues in other countries, England, for instance, the kind of training regime they were going through, the kinds of, invitational tournaments they were playing in and all of that. What do you see with the way other countries are organizing the under-17 teams? Because truth of the matter is that eventually, hopefully, of course, we hope it happens, that you qualify for the World Cup. You're going to meet these same teams.
Yes, for me, I think other countries are doing very, very well. A country like Serbia. Last year I went to a tournament. We were in a tournament there, and when you look at their facility that they've put up, it hosted all the countries that came in. Recently we staying in Pram Pram, and I noticed there is a huge change. They've added one more AstroTurf, doing the green grass pitches very well. When you talk about the accommodation too, they are changing everything there. So for me, I hope and pray that by the end of the year we also have similar camping bays that will accommodate even other countries coming there to stay, and then even hosting a whole tournament. So I'm talking about Serbia because I saw what they've put there. They have their main stadium,
okay,
in their camp, and then they have about 8 pitches, training pitches, around that stadium. So during my time there, and then there is a hotel in between the facility. So watching all those things, I was so impressed about everything that they did. And you can see they have all the age groups of their national teams there. They don't camp them for long because of school, but every month they bring them in for 1 week. They train, play one friendly game, and they leave them to go for 3-4 weeks. Bring them back again. So they are well organized when you look at them. I met them again in Russia, and looking at the way they play, the way their mindset, having a chat with their coaches, and we do a little bit of exchange programs. What do you do to get here? What your plan of training and all that? And listening to all of them, I realize they are doing something right. That maybe in future, if they have proper players, or the players they had consistency in their growth, I think in future they can do something. So for me, I think it's very important for us to have all these structures done well, and with the quality that we have in this country, we can, if we have everything right, we have proper coaching educators, we have proper well-educated coaches that is sending right messages to the boys, I think we can do something.
Let's talk about you and this job and what legally ties you to this job. You signed a contract? Have you for this appointment? You have
for the under-17
as head coach of the season. Have you signed a contract?
Yes, I've signed a contract.
Okay. Does it have a duration? Okay.
Yes, I signed 2 years contract. I signed since May last year.
Okay.
Yeah, so I started proper work in June.
Okay.
So I started with the scouting and all that till now. So I have 2 years contract with the FA, and my task is to qualify the team to their first since 2017 to qualify them again to go back to their past glory. So that's where we are now. We put in a lot of work, and we have today till Wednesday, next week Wednesday, that we're going to start that competition. Preparation has been very well. It has gone very well. So
before, there was a point where I'm very sure you knew, look, this is about to happen. So what was your personal ambition as well in terms of what you wanted to achieve with this team?
Yes, for me, I said to myself, most people that knew me, they know me everywhere I go. I wanted to win. Since my childhood days, I always want to win. If not winning, I'm with a winner. So for me, going into coaching itself, I want to win trophies. Go into coaching, I want to win trophies. I want to take a team for people to see my handwriting on the walls that this is Lai's team. And so far for me, I think I've managed to try and portray that image to people. I know there is more room for improvement. So my ambition in my coaching career is to win trophies. Do well, win trophies, build a team, a team that people will see and will be like, wow. Or maybe if I'm not around, people will say, okay, this is Lai's handwriting. So and I know it's not easy. We have to put in work, and which for me, I think from the one that I went in, I've put in a lot of work, and I always say this, thanks to Tom Vernon, because he saw that talent in me. Even as a player, he saw that talent in me.
And Tom Vernon is the founder of the Right to Dream
Academy.
Yeah, good.
So he saw the talent in me, and he always called me and tell me, what are you doing? Come and coach. After my playing career, come and coach. And he told me if I wanted to coach, I don't have to do anything else. If I want to, I can coach and do something else. But if I really wanted to achieve something in coaching, I should just focus on coaching. And I listened to him, and I think for me it's working perfectly. And he's someone that gave me opportunity, put me in an environment that have equipped me till today. Environment that helped me to understand modern trend of football, and I've added some to it, and it's helping me well. So thumbs up to Tom Vernon.
And talk about that. Tell me about your time at Right to Dream, and I mean what you saw in terms of structure there, and what you also think in terms of what others should be doing. I mean, those who want to set up similar outfits at the football development level and all of that. You've spoken about the kind of impact it's made in your career, but I'm sure there's even more.
Yes. People outside Right to Dream, they think Right to Dream is a normal academy that is recruiting kids in Africa and showing them how to play football. That's not it. If you find your word enrolling, find your word in Right to Dream environment, the kid have everything in terms of education, in terms of the game itself. Football is the first one. Football stands out. But Right to Dream kids all over the world, in Europe, in America, in the UK, that they went through Right to Dream Academy, and now they are professors. Some of them are doctors. Even Majid Waris, he have a degree. He played football to the highest level, but he still have a degree. So for me, Right to Dream is not just a normal, usual academy. Education is also part. Every year they take about 5-6 kids to America to go to colleges. They grow through the ranks. Some of them will make it. They will make it to the MLS. Some of them they grow and then find different parts in the world. So Right to Dream is a whole package. And for me, I can't sit down and then say something that is not positive about Right to Dream, because I know it has helped me. It has helped a lot of people in Africa.
And it took you places as well. It gave you some very good exposure.
Oh yes, as a coach. Yes. In my coaching career, it gave me a massive exposure. I got in that environment, and immediately they gave me the style of playbook, about let's say 80-90 pages. Put me head coach of the academy. I have to find my way in, start to learn my ways in, start to study the style of play, start to learn how to collaborate with other departments in terms of physio department, in terms of school department, in terms of we have pastoral department. So we all have to work hand in hand, you know. So for me, I think it's a high opener. I went in there, got the senior team, made sure I planned sessions, and at the end of the term, I have to write reports for every player. I remember I have about 24, 25 players in my squad, and every term, I have to write reports on every player, give them a copy to send to their parents, and then leave one in their academy for future records. I got the opportunity to travel with the team to tournaments in Europe and then in Asia, which for me, I think it's an experience. And sometimes I'm the one coordinating everything to travel from Ghana to wherever we're going to play the tournament. When we get there, planning for the meals, planning for trainings. I did all the periodization throughout every tournament. So for me, it's a learning curve for me. That's how come I got opportunity for the National Under-17 men's team. It wasn't. I didn't find it too difficult how to organize myself, how to manage the backroom staff as well, how to manage everyone, how to put in a weekly periodization to everyone that this week this is what we're going to do. And I always tell them that we're not prisoners to our plan. During the week, something can change. Maybe the time, maybe we can decide, looking at the way the boys are responding to education. I think mentally, psychologically, they are tired. We should stay off the class and then focus more on the pitch and all that. So all these with FC Nottingland and Right to Dream have helped me a lot. In terms of session planning and all that, it's with Right to Dream. But managing the backroom staff and learn how to work with people hand in hand, I learned that in FC Nottingland. Because FC Nottingland, they gave opportunity for coaches to express themselves. They gave opportunity for coaches and the physios, the conditioning coaches, analysts. They gave them opportunity. So every month we sit down and then we have something we call style of play meeting. We will pick one phase in the style of play, and then they will assign one coach or two coaches to work hand in hand to have a presentation on that. What can we do to improve it? So we have to do presentation on all those things. So for me, I think all those things helped me to get to wherever I am. And when it comes to coaching education, it's Right to Dream who sponsored my coaching education, especially in my UEFA B license. UEFA A license, that time I've had opportunity to come to Ghana. So it looks like they were not happy that I'm leaving or something. So it became, they dragged their feet a little bit.
Okay.
So they did part, but the rest of the
course, some prominent people in this country sponsored that. You know, they took it upon themselves that they will sponsor me till I finish my A license, which they did. Because that time I've left Right to Dream, and these persons, they helped me to finish my UEFA A license in terms of traveling to Scotland for my coaching practice, in terms of logistics that I need that can help me. It's just a man that saw my work, and he realized, no, he saw something in me, and he said, oh, he's going to help me achieve that. And he's also willing to sponsor my UEFA Pro license, which I'm pushing to pursue it now. I think after you have your A license, you need to work in an elite environment for 2-3 years before you are eligible to go in your pro. I've put in a request to Scottish FA, UEFA, that I wanted to do it as soon as possible. They're looking into it. I had interview last week, which I think I am yet to get the feedback. It looks good. I want to do everything, get my badges there,
and then I will focus, because to mix schooling and work at the same time is difficult. I did that in my A license. I was busy with the U17s and also going to do my assignment, going to finish my portfolio. It was very stressful. So for me, I wanted to finish everything now, and then I will focus more on my career.
You're not mentioning who it is, who helped you?
At the right time.
You will.
At the right
very
time.
Well, very well. Ernest Boama, who used to be our lead producer here at Joy Sports, now doing a lot, in the space, has said this one. Great show. I'm enjoying the discussion with Coach Lai. I have a strong feeling he's in the process of building something great for the national team in some few years to come. Kudos to him. So this message came from Ernest Boama. Let's also take this one. This one is also from Niaite. He says, Bralaye, please, are we going to have a lot of you, Stephen Appiah, and Odate Lante lookalikes in your team? Okay, I'll have him answer that very shortly. There's also another one which was asking, it says, okay, this is from Nisaki in Mamprobi. It says, Citizen Attoh, please ask Lai whether he attended Amazing Grace School in Koligono. Okay, well, thank you very much for all those messages. Okay. Amazing Grace School? Yeah.
Yes.
That's, okay.
Yes, the wooden structure. I
see.
Close to the beach. Headmaster is Mwazi.
I see.
Yes. I did from crèche. I did from crèche, but I go and then run away.
Yeah, because you grew up in an era where you had to hide to be playing your football.
Football, yes. So because of football, I'll run and go out for like 2-3 weeks, not coming to school, and then back again. So yes, I attended the Amazing Grace at Gibbs. Amazing Grace International Preparatory School. Yes.
I see. Interesting stuff. Now, someone also is looking at the talent pool, and he says that he wants to know if you see yourself in some of these young players. If you see Stephen Appiah, your Black Stars captain, in some of these players. If you see Odate Lamte, who once was the world's most valuable juvenile player, in some of these players.
Yes. I there are a lot of them there. There are a lot of talents in the current squad. Even the ones that they couldn't make it to the final 30 that we have now, we still see players like all these names that you've mentioned. But we cannot be like someone. All of them are unique on their own. I always try to tell current players that okay, you can have a mentor, you can have someone that you look up to, but you also have something in you. I believe Kudus Mohammed, Pateis, when they were growing up, they look up to a player. Now they've also built something for themselves. Now these young players will say, oh, I'm Kudus Mohammed. So for me, I think we have a lot of talented players in the country, and the current players that I have now, I've seen a lot of good players in it that they have similarities, like all these names that we mentioned, but they also have something special. So they are unique. All of them are unique. They have something that in future, maybe in 2-3 years time, someone will stand there and say, oh, I'm Nabi, I'm Theophilus Chivanyo. You see, I'm Anani, Ebenezer Anani. I'm Abdullahi Note. These are key players that I have in my team.
I see.
Tafa, and you see all the names that I've mentioned. It sounds that all the names are from all the regions. I have Ashanti, I have from the north.
Yeah.
Northness, I have Achim. If I mention the names, all the 20 players in the camp now, we have everything in there. We have Gans, we have everything, the Fantis, all of them.
I see.
Yes.
I see. Well, you can join us now on the phone lines. I know you're itching to also contribute and ask some questions of the National Under-17 coach. 055-11-11997, 055-11-11997, and 0302-216-541. 0302-216-541. 541. 055-1111-997 and 0302-216-541. We're still building up to the Rep Your Jersey event, and it's on Saturday, June 1 at the Aviation Social Center, and it's a collaboration between Joy Sports Hits 103.9 FM and Joy Prime TV. Remember that it's going to be a fun packed, and we're expecting to see all of you in your jerseys and in your UEFA jerseys, and there'll be loads and loads of activities from 10 a.m. till the final whistle, until we see those who will dominate. Would it be Real Madrid? Would it be Borussia Dortmund? Well, would live to see. But remember, it's the biggest outdoor event for viewing the UEFA Champions League final. It's the Hits FM Rep Your Jersey 2024, and it's proudly sponsored by Soccerbet, Shaltox Lozenges, Heineken, the National Petroleum Authority, Jamar Detergent, Syntex Tanks, Peugeot from Silverstar Auto, Franco Trading Enterprise, Citizen Sports Mall, and Ice Drop Drinking Water. A round of commercials, and we continue the conversation and also receive your calls. Remember, it's 0302-216-541 and 055-1111-997.
Joy 99.7 FM.
It's the 3i Africa Summit, where innovation, impact, and investment converge, where technology drives transformation. From the 13th to the 15th of May 2024, heads of state, central bank governors, thought leaders, innovators, investors, academics, and entrepreneurs will converge to unleash Africa's full potential. Discover the power of digital assets, explore the state of digital growth in Africa, and unveil lessons from Africa's central bank digital currency experiments. Engage in discussions on diversity in the creative arts and tech, financing Africa's SMEs, and bridging the digital gender gap. Network with investors, pitch your ideas, and access funding at the 3i Africa Deal Room and Pitchfest. Join us at the Accra International Conference Center as we ignite a fintech revolution for Africa's financial future. Visit 3iafrica.com to register now.
Joy 99.7 FM. Joy 99.7 FM.
Well, thank you so much for staying with us. It's 20 minutes to the top of the hour, 2 p.m. After the headline news at 2, Kwame Dazi and the rest of the team will bring you Showbiz A to Z. Let's do some more messages. Remember, the phone line is active. You can call us and share your thoughts with us. 0302-216-541, 0302-216-541, and 055-1111-997. There's a message here that says, "Good afternoon, Nat. Great interview. I like Laye as a coach. I think he'll be great for Ghana. Is it possible that he moves with this under 17 players to under 20, under 23, and to the Black Stars to ensure a seamless progression of players and coaching? I think he should be the future Black Stars coach. Thanks." This is from Kwesi Ofori in Washington, USA. All right, Kwesi, thank you very much for your message. All right, a lot of, positives, positive, big endorsements coming for you as a coach. Everybody talks about how you should progress to become the head coach of the Black Stars as well someday in the future.
Yes, everyone's dream is to grow. But I always say that I'm taking it a day at a time. There's no point of me rushing. I'm enjoying developing these boys. But the point that he made is very, very, very important. If the country will permit me to grow with these kids, I think the senior national team will have a future.
Well, it won't be bad. I mean, this suggestion that Kwesi is making is interesting. That a coach is made to progress from under 17 and then to under 20 and then under 23 and then eventually the Black Stars. However, the terrain is a bit different, and there's a whole lot of troubles and.
Don't worry, we'll go through.
Well, very well.
That's why I keep saying, let's take it a day at a time. You never know. In life, you never know.
Now, in addition to that improvement that you've seen, with the pitches and all across the country, what other thing would you say in terms of encouraging our ecosystem so we can be producing a lot more of these players and we can have a sustainable plan? I mean, ideas like the Milo Championship have to come back, isn't it?
Yes, that one is the key. Now KGL is handling that.
That one, yes.
And they are doing very well. And one other thing is, we should have a trusted scouts.
When you say, trusted scouts, I mean
with the experience that I've had, and then the experience I had during my regional tour, I realized most of the regional scouts that they put out there, because some of them, the list that I have in front of me, most of them are not there. But I have, let's say they've given me 32 players on the list. But players standing in front of me are like 80 players. Let's say one region like this. I have 30 players on the list. But I have like
physically you have 80 players.
80 players in front of me.
I see. So it means that
it
some work is not being done properly.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. It means that the regional scouts did not do their job well. So for me, I was very disappointed when it comes to that. In Europe, the way we do our scouting is not like that. In Europe, the FA and the directorate, they themselves will appoint a scout that they trust, and the scout should be trustworthy. Not scouts go in and then say, "Oh, my uncle's brother's son. Let me put his name there." I always say that, what happens to a very good player that is somewhere in the village and he doesn't have anybody
to say something,
put in
a word
to
for
help him to come and stand there.
Yeah.
To help him to come to that trials. You understand me? So my point is, we can mix those good players because of someone's interest. So if we can have a well-trusted scout, that the coaches, the national coaches themselves, they believe in that scout, the FA and the directorate believe in that scout, that he is going out there and bring the criteria or the profile players that the FA is looking for, and give it to the coaches to educate them. I think it will be solid, because for me where I'm sitting now, I will not trust any scout that goes and bring me a player. That's why this exercise, I take it upon myself to go out there and watch the player myself. Even after we've had our team, sometimes someone will recommend a player to me. Oh, I have a player there. I've seen this player. Amazing player. Yes, good. Okay, what I keep telling them, okay, let me come and watch the player. If the player is good enough for the country, why not? He's Ghanaian. We bring him in. So for me, other side that we can do to improve this is for us to have trustworthy scouts that will go out there and bring players that he believes and the coaches and the FA believes they can help the country.
Interesting stuff there. So you also join us with your thoughts. Phone lines active now, 0302216541 and 05511119997. Now, you raised some very interesting points about scouts and those who are trustworthy and all of that. How easy is it for you to, take out the good ones from the mass that you normally are confronted with when you are on these training programs? Sorry, these recruitment programs.
Everyone have a criteria that they use to go and pick players. So as a scout, before you go, you have a criteria. Okay, we're looking at very good technical right back. Our right back should be very technical, very have agility. It should be tall. So these are profiles that they put. So whilst you are watching the game and you see such qualities, then those areas you go there and then take it. Okay, he's tall. You have good profile. Yes, technical, very good. Agility, check. So you keep doing that. So every scout, every organization or football team should have a criteria that they're looking for. If you go to Spain, maybe they have different one. You go to Serbia, they have different one. You go to Russia, they have different one. So I believe the FA also have one. So these criteria, this is what they will give to the scouts. So when they are sitting down and watching games, then they focus on those points. If they see that in this player, then they know that, okay, this will be good for us.
Wow, interesting stuff there. Let's also take a quick look at the terrain generally. You've been talking about some of the sources, okay? So the KGL tournament is one source, for instance. You've been doing some some specialized recruitment events as well. There's also a whole breed of young boys who are in school who find themselves not necessarily having but they take advantage of these programs and these little clubs that are formed and these little academies that are put to so that they can play. There are quite a number of academies around as well. Have you thought of expanding the drive to all of these places so that they can also get an opportunity?
Yes. So you see, when you were asking the question, I was smiling. Yes, in my squad, I have 2 players that they came from just finished I think Kumasi Inter-Schools tournament.
Okay.
The Gokin is in the squad.
I see.
And there is my fullback. I have 2 fullbacks now. Isdin Mohamed and Prince Amwa.
Yeah.
Top players. Top players. Isdin Mohamed came through KGL.
I see.
Prince came through the inter-schools in Kumasi. And guess what? How I found him. When we were having our activation in Kumasi, I have his name on the list. So this is funny. So what we do is, the moment we get there, the players, as we assemble the players, we go through the names, roll call. So I mentioned Prince Amwa, and and a certain boy came and said, "Oh, I'm Prince Amwa." So for me, I think it's Prince Amwa. Okay. We're done with it. Other team is using the pitch, so we're waiting to go in. And all of a sudden, I saw this young boy walk to me and said, "Oh, coach, I was in school. I didn't know this exercise is going on." Meanwhile, his name is on the list.
I see.
But someone told me it's happening. Okay. So that's why I came. And I asked him, "What's your name?" And then he mentioned Prince Amwa. I was like, "Really?" But I just mentioned Prince Amwa. Hey, then I look around. I'm very good at that. If I see your face once. And these kids, they are very smart. So I mentioned, "Hey, who is Prince Amwa?" Prince Amwa. The guy is hiding. I said, "Yes, you, come. You are not Prince Amwa."
So why did you do that?
And then he was like, oh, my coach said I should come. And his coach was standing around. You know, everybody is desperate. They want to get in. You see, I can't fault the child. You know, I can't fault him. He wanted to do everything possible to get into the team. So then I said, okay. Then I replaced him with
the original
one. Yeah. The original one. I was standing there. I said, okay, no problem. Maybe this child have it. The one that claimed is Prince Amwa.
Yeah.
So what's your name? He mentioned his name. Then I added to the list. The reason why I did that is I experienced that in Serbia group.
I see.
Fatau Ganiu.
Okay.
That now a lot of big clubs are looking for him. The same. He came to the camp. I didn't know that he's coming. And I saw them, they were 2. So I sacked them from the training. And the other one left, but Fatal did not go. He went to stand there under the tree. And my PA went to him. My PA went to him and he said, no, don't go. Wait. I know him. He will change his mind. Wait, don't change. Stay. And then after 2-3 minutes, and I said, okay, come, go and join the session. When he started touching the ball, I said, no, this guy have something. And then he came to be one of the most important player in that Serbia squad. You see, so I asked that boy to join the trials. Guess what? The Prince Samuel himself came without football boots.
I see.
He is thinking maybe he's coming to report himself. And then, he thought maybe we were doing it for 3-4 days. I said, we're doing it now and it's done. You know? And then he went to borrow a football boot from one of the boys that played. They were training, they played. I think he knew him. He came in, amazing. He came in as a midfielder. But looking at his qualities, I move him to left back. The way I want my team to play, I want someone who is very comfortable with the ball. Even my goalkeeper have to be very, very comfortable with the ball.
Yeah, and that's building up from the back.
And luring opponents to come to our box thinking, oh, we can win it there. And then spaces comes behind them, we go counter-attack. Yes.
Interesting stuff there. Just about some 6 minutes to wrap it up here on the Joy Sports Link on Joy 99.7 FM. Let me do some more messages. This one is from Richard in Adenta. He says, Hi Nat, I'm enjoying the program. Tell Lai Kingston that I'm somebody who's always following him. Anytime I hear his name, I remember something. You're not playing at the World Cup. You're not playing at the World Cup level was my pain. Now that you have the opportunity, make sure you go for gold with the young ones at the world level. Wish you all the best. God bless you. This one is from Richard in Adenta. And then a final question is coming in from Kwesi Fori in Washington, USA. He says, my last question, has he been given the free hand to work and select his players without any interference from the top? You know that some coaches have claimed that they have had interference, and even Kurt claimed that he scrutinizes Black Stars coaches' squad lists before they are finalized. Okay, Lai, over to you.
Oh yes, I look. Every single player there is me. It's me who chose my squad. You know, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy at all. From day one, I've been fighting, putting my feet down that, fine, if you recommend a player, I would like to see the player first. And if I feel the player can help the work that we are doing, why not? He's a Ghanaian. So I've fought for this, and trust me, every single player that you see in the squad now, it's my decision. I chose every player there. It wasn't easy though. It wasn't easy at all. I have to be honest. Raise my hand and say I have to be not honest. But myself and the technical team, we've made it clear to everybody that every player that will play for the national team have to be on merit. Like I said, we have a very good player in the village somewhere that doesn't have anyone. That doesn't have anybody, because he doesn't have someone to lead him to play for the national team. His career and his ambition will finish there. No, for me, no. So I myself put my feet down and picked every single player in the current squad that we have.
Great stuff there. So there we have the confirmation. Coach Lai Kingston confirming that he selects every single player that we see, or every single player that you will see eventually in the Black Starlets team is a work of his hand and his careful selection. So that ends that particular matter here. In wrapping things up, how do you ensure the life and work balance? You know, this job is your passion. There's no doubt about that. I see the way you go about it and all of that. But how do you wind down, relax, take it easy? I mean, back in your earlier years, you were very, very aggressive. You liked to party a lot and all of that. I see some of it has changed from, but how do you relax nowadays? How do you take it easy after a hard day's work?
Yeah, so the environment I educate myself in, when I started with these Europeans, their mindset. Beginning, I wanted to be focused, work. But most of my colleagues, that they are from Europe, they always try to pull me away from the work sometimes. And beginning, I don't understand. I said no. Because that time when I got to Right to Dream, I was thinking I need time, because on Monday it's packed. I need to be proactive. So all the time, maybe weekend, I still want to. So I have a friend called Shane. He was the head of physio department, and every Friday he always tell me, "Hey, my guy, Accra, let's go." Yeko, Accra. And when we get to Accra, before we separate ourselves, we sit at the bar, drink beer. I played in Russia, so beer. And in Scotland, after games, they give us beer to drink and all that. So beer cools me down. If I have a cold, chilled beer, cools me down, So so that's what we do, man. That's what we do to stay off the treadmill, For us to stay off the treadmill, cool, chilled beer,
Oh, good stuff there. Now, tomorrow is also Mother's Day, so I'll let you send us a word to all mothers out there. But punditry work, you've done a good amount of punditry work. You've worked with SuperSport. You worked with us here at Joy Sports when we had the Euro 2020 franchise. Balancing that between coaching, they say sometimes those who go and sit on television and talk a lot don't know how it is like practically and all of that.
maybe the masses can judge. The masses can judge. Trust me, I enjoy punditry work. Anything football, talking football, and coaching is talking. It's talking. Coaching is you saying something to people to act accordingly. So it's still part of it. So I enjoy every minute. So I see punditry work and coaching being on the grass the same thing. Because at the end of the day, you have to tell them what to do. And when you are sitting on TV, discussing games, putting in your coaching points, analyzing situations, it's still part of being on the grass. Because when you are coaching, you need to analyze situation before you go in, stop, freeze the session, correct mistakes, bring the ball back, and then action. So it's all part of. It's similar. The same way when you are sitting on TV, analyzing game, and then maybe you want to explain something, you roll it back where the ball stopped, or even where like 5 seconds before the action itself, what happened before that, and then 5 seconds after the incident happened. So all these things are very important. So it's the same as you stopping the game in the training session and then rewind the players. Okay, go back to where you are. This was where the ball is. You were standing here. You did this. You did that. Okay, you should do it that. Bring the ball back to the same place. Start again. So you make it active. So
Great stuff. Great stuff. All right. So just before we go, a message to our mothers. Mother's Day message.
Happy Mother's Day to every good mother. The good ones. Because we have a lot of mothers.
Yeah.
The responsible ones.
Very well.
So
very
happy
well.
Mother's Day to everyone.
Yeah.
Especially my mom, Agnes Kwaku. Happy Mother's Day to you. You've been there for me from day one.
Very well.
You're a very difficult mother. Sometimes, sometimes you've been too hard on me, but hey,
it's all paid off.
It's all paid off, and even still, you are too hard on me. So I appreciate everything, Mom.
Interesting stuff. Well, mine will go to my wife Emilia and my mother Esther. Happy Mother's Day to all of you ahead of time. And my lead producer, Benaya Elom Dafiamekpo, he sends this one to his mother, Mrs. Victoria Dafiamekpo. Happy Mother's Day to you. We love you so much. Thank you so much for giving us a wonderful son who's a top producer now, doing a lot of stuff with us. So yeah, my mother Esther, my wife Emilia, and all my sisters. Happy Mother's Day to all of you. So this is how we wrap it up. I'm sure Kwame Dazi will also come and give his Mother's Day message. Yeah. So Showbiz A to Z will follow. The highest paid DJ in this side of town will also be here. And so you stay well, keep it good, and always keep with us on Joy Sports. There are so many stories to follow on the sports page of myjoyonline.com. Have a wonderful weekend. It's been Laie Kingston, the head coach of the National Under-17 male football team, the Black Starlets, here with us on the Joy Sports Link. I'll be back next weekend with another show. My name is Nathaniel Attoh, and I have love for sport.
Joy.